March 12, 1938, Austria. Germany has officially annexed Austria in what is known as the Onslaughts. The Allies did not come to the aid of Austria, thinking that the Austrian people wanted the annexation. Hitler's new Germany did not just want fascism, but also imperialism. Hitler and the Nazis had made the idea of Lebensraum, or living room for the German people, that included all of Europe. Austria was just a piece of the puzzle Germany wanted to make. Next, Hitler and the Nazis wanted another piece of German-speaking land, the Sudetenland. Germany was on the verge of invading Czechoslovakia. However, Neville Chamberlain, the British Prime Minister, was scared of another war, so Germany, Italy, France, and United Kingdom discussed Czechoslovakia's future at the Munich Conference. Just Czechoslovakian diplomats were not invited. The conference decided that Germany would annex the Sudetenland of Czechoslovakia, and Hitler promised to not invade Czechoslovakia. However, not too long after annexing the Sudetenland, Germany invaded and occupied Czechia and made Slovakia a puppet state. In April of 1939, Benito Mussolini's Italy invaded Albania and made them a puppet state. That May, Italy and Germany would sign the Pact of Steel, cementing their alliance. Czechia and Austria, Hitler had his eyes on for a while. However, the most wanted piece of land was the Polish corridor in the German parts of Poland. There was one problem, however. Britain and France had signed a treaty with Poland, which meant that if Germany invaded Poland, Britain and France would invade Germany. In August of 1939, Hitler met with the Soviet Union's leader, Joseph Stalin, where they made the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, which was a truce, however, in secret was a deal to divide Poland. On September 1st, 1939, Germany declared war on Poland and began their invasion. And to Hitler's surprise, Britain and France declared war on Germany, starting the Second World War that day. The Polish army had no tanks. Their cavalry was mainly horse-based. So the Panzer and Tigers collapsing in on the Polish army was simply too much. The death note was September 17th, when the Soviet Union invaded Poland from the east. Poland collapsed on September 27th. It was divided by Germany and the Soviets. After Poland collapsed, the war turned into a phony war. The British and French did not make a move. Both of their armies and politicians were very cautious and unfit for the war, and many never thought that the Second World War would take place. Instead of bombings, the British dropped propaganda papers over German cities and took a more diplomatic approach to dealing with the Germans. During the phony war, it gave the Nazis enough time to move their supplies and armies towards the lowland countries and the Nordic countries. April 9th, 1940. Germany needs to secure their iron ores from Sweden, which go through Norway. So Germany invades Denmark in 6 hours, then uses Denmark as a launching pad to invade Norway. Germany has battled the Allies and Norwegians in Norway for 2 months until the Allies left and Norway surrendered to Germany. After this failure, many in Parliament called for Neville Chamberlain to resign from being Prime Minister of the British Empire. So Chamberlain resigned, and on the 10th of May, 1940, Winston Churchill was appointed as the next Prime Minister. It was not all sunshine and rainbows, however, for Churchill and this new Parliament, because many politicians at the time in Britain wanted to see the war end, whilst Churchill made his prime ministership about never surrendering. However, Churchill's stance would appear to look even worse when Germany invaded the Netherlands, Belgium, and Luxembourg on the day he became Prime Minister. The lowlands would only last around a week, as the very real German army entered France. The German army was revolutionary for its time. They had seemingly endless energy, eating little and barely sleeping, but always running. For recent discoveries that the military pills that German government gave their soldiers was actually a cocaine-based stimulant, which made the soldiers tougher opponents. This revolutionary army also was mainly made of Panzer tanks and had very little infantry, which helped them move faster through France, a tactic known as blitzkrieg. The German army moved through the heavily forested and hilly area known as the Ardennes that was lightly guarded. and maneuvered their smaller, faster forces to encircle the bulk of the French army. Then they moved in to the coast and had trapped just under 60% of the entire British military between them and the sea at Dunkirk. This was an absolute nightmare for Churchill, Parliament, and the French government. Many in the UK called for Churchill to surrender to Germany to bring the troops home. However, Churchill continued the war. For now, however, Hitler had most of the British army trapped between his army and starvation and drowning.